we already seen this register transfer notation where we are moving the contents from here to registers, LOC to registers, from main memory to registers. And we are also seeing this one, some of these two or move to R4. We already done with this one. And we have also seen assembly language notation where we use the load, the keyword load, so that LOC contents are moved to, that is main memory contents which is referred by LOC are moved to register R2. Okay, so this is assembly language notation. We already completed this one. And one important thing you need to remember is when I say instruction, an instruction consists of opcode and also operands, or we can say addresses. This is the important thing you need to remember. When I say instruction, an instruction consists of opcode. Can anybody guess what opcode can be? Looking at this instruction and example. This is an instruction, an example. Comparing it with this one, can anyone say what this opcode means in this example? What opcode is in this example instruction? This is an instruction example and this is an instruction format which consists of opcode and operands. Amma? The format is opcode.
Instruction specifying operations.
What I'm saying is this is an example instruction. Add space R1, R2, R3 is an example instruction. So can you say what is opcode here? Because an instruction need to follow this format, opcode and also operands. So what is opcode here? What are the operands here in this instruction? There is no logic. There is a theoretical part. It's a theoretical part. You need to respond. So here opcode is add. Add is the opcode and operands, or we can say this one R1, R2, R3. Or you can say add and R1, R2, R3 are the operands, or we can say addresses. So here they are addresses R1, R2, R3. They refer to register addresses. Okay. All right. So we already seen the three address instructions, three format, two address instruction format we had seen in the last class, one address and also zero address we already seen. And important thing is from your exam point of view, the question paper is not yet prepared, but I am telling the important things is RISC is very important, RISC. And also these instruction formats are important. In your previous questions, there are previous exams questions. Question is like, what are the various instruction formats? So you need to specify the syntax, add and something like a destination and source. Add and destination and source. The syntax you need to specify, and you need to specify the example also. So this is important. Instruction formats are very important, and this is very much important on RISC instructions. So this is also one type of instruction format. RISC is also one type of instruction format. So its full form is a reduced instruction set compiler. So the instruction is reduced. So obviously it's like it uses simple constructs with fewer instructions, so that execution will be very faster in the CPU, and this uses only, most of the part it uses only internal CPU registers, and it uses less main memory. Okay, so RISC consists of mostly it uses CPU registers and it less usage of main memory. So the main memory usage is restricted only to load and store operations. Okay. And I had given an example of the instruction format and how it is evaluated. So we already seen this one, evaluating this one. with the three address format, how it is evaluated. So first A plus B will calculate with this statement. So you can assume this one has a assembly level instruction. This is written in a language of assembly level language instruction. So actually instead of add, we have very in short we have AD type of mnemonic instead of add. But thing is, for our understanding, we had kept add. So actually there will be very short mnemonic in assembly level language. Okay. So for our comfortability, for our understanding, we had kept the meaningful word like add. For example, in assembly level language, we call ST, but for our understanding, we had kept store. In assembly level language, we have LD. For our comfortability, we are using load instead of LD. Okay, so in short, we call actually them as AD, LD, and so on. We call as mnemonics. Okay, so they are something like a opcodes in the instruction. Okay, so we already seen this part. Adding A plus B is done here, C plus D is done here, and entire evaluation multiplying these two are done in the third instruction using three address formats. We already done this one. These are some risk characteristics. We already specified all these. Okay, we had just now discussed also. And here you can see the topic is instruction execution and straight line sequencing. So what does it mean is how an instruction is executed, how it is loaded, and how it is executed. So when we take, for example, these instructions, we have here 4 instructions as a part of risk operation. This is the risk operation we have. Using risk instruction, the operation we have is this one. So this is evaluated in this way. First A is loaded into R1, B is loaded into R2, and next to these two need to be added. A plus B are need to be added. So A is in R1, B is in R2. So we need to add these two, and we are storing in R3, and from R3 we are copying into C. So at the end you can see the result will be in C. Okay. Okay. Right. Okay. So in order to execute this instruction, it's like these are the various instructions in assembly level language, which gives the result in C. Okay. So how these instructions are loaded into main memory. So these 4 statements you can see actually they are loaded in main memory in this way. Can anybody say, looking at this I plus 4, these are the addresses. I is the address, I plus 4 is another address, I plus 8 is another, I plus 12. Can anybody say what is based on these, looking at this I plus 4, I plus 8, what is the word length here? What is the word length? In each word, instruction is loaded. This is one word of space. In here, this instruction is loaded. In this, this is also another word. Here, instruction is loaded. This is another word of memory. That is location. Here, this add instruction is loaded. Add R4, R2, R3 instruction. This is another word. Here, store space R4C is loaded. Okay. Can anybody say, looking at this, what is the length of each this word? It is same. Each length word is same. What is that? We already discussed this in the last class. So if you already got this theoretical part in the last class, let's answer this one. What? Can you repeat once again? Based on this I plus 4, I plus 5, what is the length of this word in bytes? Clue is in bytes. My last student, can you repeat once again, even though it's wrong? So that is the reason I'm repeating again and again, so that you can get the things. Even the theoretical part, I'm repeating so that you get the things, because this is a new topic. So let me know what is the value of IE here. Sorry, what is the word length here? I is an any address. It can be 1000, it can be 2000 or anything. I'm asking what will be the word length. If I is I 1000, then this will be 1000 plus 4, 1004. This one is 1008, 1012, right? So you might, yes. ఇప్పుడు మనకు ఆన్సర్ వచ్చింది నిన్నటిది కదా. So the thing is, this is 32 bit, that is 4 bytes. అందుకే మనకి ఇక్కడ 4 యాడ్ అవుతూ వచ్చింది చూసారా. సో దిస్ వన్ ఈస్ 32 bytes, 32 bits, or we can say 4 bytes. So 4 bytes tarvatane we have another address. So that's why we have next, if the address I is 1000, next address will be 1000 plus 4, 1004. Next instruction address will be located at 1000 plus 8, 1008. This one is 1012. Here next address, fourth instruction is stored. Okay, so you can, so here you can see this is a word length of 32 bit or 4 bytes. So in the word, the entire instruction is loaded. Okay, another question. Okay, before loading this, first assume I don't have in this is the main memory. You can see here ABC, the operands are stored. Data for the program, operands ABC, because ABC are the variables, operands here, the data is stored here. Assume I don't have any instruction, this not at all one instruction, all the entire 4 instructions I erase. My main memory is empty here. This is the main memory which is empty. As per the diagram I had drawn at the starting, can you say where the address of first instruction will be loaded, in which register? If you remember the diagram I had drawn, the clumsy diagram I had said, like starting, which is not in any textbook or notes. Can you say where the address of first instruction is loaded, when not at all one instruction is in this main memory, no instruction is loaded in my main memory? So where the first instruction address is loaded? IR కాదమ్మా, ఇంకో గెస్. గుడ్, I want these answers. అమ్మా రాంగ్ అయినా కూడా నాకు ఆన్సర్స్ కావాలి అంతే. Some response from you. IR కాదా అమ్మా? MDR కాదు. మీరు ఇంకో కొద్దిగా వెనక వెళ్తున్నారు, ఇంకొద్దిగా రివైండ్ చేసుకోండి. ఫస్ట్ ఇన్స్ట్రక్షన్ అడ్రస్ ఎక్కడ లోడ్ అవుతుంది మీకు గుర్తుండాలి. మరి థియరిటికల్ పార్ట్ అన్నప్పుడు మీరు గుర్తుండాలి మీకు ఇది. The diagram I had repeated many times. First instruction, the instruction which is going to be executed next is loaded in which register? Current instruction emo, it is loaded in IR instruction register. Current instruction which is being executed. The instruction which is going to be executed in next is loaded in PC, program counter. Gurtunda? So PC is the program counter register wherein the first instruction address is loaded. Right? Then the PC sends the read signal to the main memory, and then the instruction gets loaded into IR. Just a minute. Okay. So first instruction address is loaded into PC, then actual instruction is loaded into IR via MDR. So whatever you said is right, IR MDR, but before that the address is loaded into PC. Next actual instruction is loaded into MDR and then to IR. Okay. Okay, so these are the few assumptions. 32-bit word length. This is the 32-bit word length. Memory is byte addressable. What does it mean by memory is byte addressable? For every byte an address is given, then we call as memory is byte addressable. Okay. Okay. So how the program is executed? So we will see how the flow will be. So we already know address of first instruction is placed in the program counter. What I had just now told you that in the raised question, address of first instruction is placed in program counter PC, and processor control circuits use the information in the PC. That is, PC contains the address of next instruction, right? First instruction. To fetch the instruction, okay, PC contains the address of first instruction. So it uses that address to fetch the instruction. Next, load the instruction in IR. So while loading in IR, we already know it travels through MDR and then it loads into IR. Okay, and later it's executed by the processor, right? Then it is loaded by the processor. Sorry, this is executed by the processor. Maybe ALU will engage in processing. So this happens with the first instruction. And next, what happens with the next instruction, second instruction? Can anybody say what happens with the second instruction? First instruction is loaded into program counter. The instruction is fetched, loaded into IR, executed by processor. And what about next instruction? How will get the next instruction loaded? The program counter is incremented. How much it is incremented? If program counter contains address 1000, can anybody say it's a 32-bit? Then how much it is incremented? Program counter.
4.
4, yes. So you can see I plus 4. Program counter, if it contains I is 1000, the next program counter becomes 1000 plus 4, 1004. Next instruction address you can get into IR. Next program counter loads with I plus 8, 1000 plus 8, 1008 in the program counter. Based on that address, we get this instruction into IR so that processor can process. Again, program counter loads with 1012, and next at that address, this instruction is there. This gets loaded into IR. So the same thing happens here. So during the execution of each instruction, PC is incremented by 4 to point to the next instruction. That's it, what we had discussed. Okay. So remember, PC will be incremented based on the word size. Here my word size is 32. So 32 means 4 bytes. That's right, plus 4. Done. Okay. So this fetching instruction by incrementing program counter and executing, we call this one as straight line sequencing, because sequence one after another statement or another instruction we are executing. So this one called as straight line sequencing, going through instruction by instruction with the help of program counter and executing, we call as straight line sequencing. Now we look at what are the various address modes. So what is the address modes? So in this topic we will see what are the various address modes. What is the address mode? Different ways in which operands are accessed by instructions are known as addressing modes. So what are the addressing modes means? What are the different ways in which operands are accessed? We already know operands will be in instructions, because what is the format of instructions? Just now we had seen, can anybody say what is the format of instruction? Opcodes at the starting followed by operands. Avuna? Instruction consists of opcodes. Opcode is example add. Operands is maybe the operand may be A, B, maybe LOC, loc LOC, or maybe R1, R2 are the operands. Okay. So we'll look at what are the different ways in which operands are accessed by these instructions, because instruction consists operands. Okay. So we'll see, look at some example. So before that, we will look at what is an effective address. So what is the effective address? The effective address will be a location from either a main memory or a register. So any location in main memory, that is RAM, or a register, processor register. When I say register, it's a processor register. Then we call that location address as effective address. So any location in main memory or processor register, that location address we call as effective address. And a simple effective address, and a simple you can say the actual address. Okay, done. Now we will look at what are the various addressing modes. So the first addressing mode we have is immediate addressing mode, we can say. So what is this immediate addressing mode? So this is the simplest form of addressing mode in which operand value is present in the instruction. Operand value is directly, not operand, its value is directly present in instruction. So for example, in instruction format, you can see we already just now said instruction consists of, starts with opcode, and then it contains operands or addresses. So here in the operands part, directly we have a value here. For example, within the example you will get the clarity. So this one, the one in the red, you can see this one 200 is following immediate addressing mode. Here instead of the operand like LOC and A or B, we directly representing the address 200. Sorry, not address, it is a value at that location. So instead of representing LOC or A or B, we are directly giving the value 200, its value. The variable value, you can say, directly we are giving 200. So this type of representing the direct value in the operands part, here we call it as immediate mode. Okay. And move is the opcode. This is the opcode. These are the two operands we have. Here this 200 is following immediate mode because we directly have the value instead of the operand. Next mode is absolute mode or direct addressing mode. Absolute mode or direct addressing mode. Here in this mode, direct addressing mode, you can see operand is in main memory. Operand is in a location of main memory. So operand is in main memory. The address of this location is given explicitly in the instruction. That is, for example, this is an example. You can see. For example, these are the operands, name1, name2, some are the operands. So what we are giving is, this is an instruction, example instruction, load R2 and name1. So the one in the red is following absolute mode or direct addressing. So remember, only the one in the red is following this mode. R2 is not this mode. It is following some other register mode. Only the one in the red. In the previous one also you can see only the one in the red 200 is following that addressing mode. So here also only name1 is following absolute mode or direct addressing mode. Here name1 is representing, can anybody say name1 is representing to location in, is it pointing to location in main memory on or register? name1. Ma? It's main memory, yes. name1 is pointing to main memory. So when this type of representation of this type of representing we call as absolute mode or direct addressing. You can see, for example, this is a diagram which shows. So here we have an instruction, and instruction consists of two parts. This one is opcode, this is operand. Okay, so opcode part, you assume this is load. Here we have is load, and in operands part assume we have R2 comma num1. So num1, instead of num1 we have assumed here we have is A. Instead of num1 we have is A. So you can see num1 is pointing to some location in main memory which consists some value here. For example, there can be 5. So obviously this 5 instead of num, so num1 is pointed to some memory location in it is pointed to some location in main memory, and this at that location we have some value, example is 5. So 5 is loaded into register R2. So this one we call as absolute or direct addressing, where the operand is pointing to a location in main memory. Other one is indirect addressing. So in this indirect addressing, you see, this is an example of indirect addressing. Add A comma R0. So what is this indirect addressing? Not direct, it's indirect. So what does it mean is, here this operand is pointing to a location in main memory, and this location does not consist the value directly. It consists some other address. So when searched in that address, we will find the actual value. So it's something like asking your friend. For example, I asking my friend, where is the address of Raghu? He says the address, so I'm going to that address and finding maybe the person, the actual person. So we call this indirect addressing. Okay, so actually in simple terms we can say it is containing address of another address. So you can see here we have some address. So in the operand part we have some address. I will go to that address and there will be another address. In that address I will search, there I will find the value. So we call as indirect addressing. So here you can see this one A in brackets, you can say this one is following indirect addressing, not R0. Only this in brackets is following indirect address, this operand. So this one is the add is the opcode. This is one operand, comma, this is another operand. This is following register mode. We will see what is this register mode. This one is following indirect addressing mode. Okay, done. So this is a register mode. Just now we had discussed where we got register mode. This one is register mode, and here also R2 is following register mode. And do we have any? Yeah, R0 also is following a register mode in all of this. So R0 here, R2 here is following register mode. So we'll see what is register mode. The operand. So you can see here an example, add R4, R2, R3. Add is the operand, R4, R2, R3 are the operands which are following register mode. So here you can see what is this register mode. These operands, for example R4, they are referring to a particular location in processor registers. Similarly with the R2, similar with the R3. So you can see in the instruction format, here you can assume this is the add. Here we have is add, and this is the opcode part where we have add, and this is the part where we have these registers R4, R2, R3. So for example, R4 is referring to this is the processor register. This is not main memory. These are the register set, means processor registers. So R4 is referring to R4 register. R2 is referring to R2 processor register, and R3 also to R3 register. Okay, so this is the register mode, where operand is pointing to contents of processor register. And next is register indirect addressing. So this one is register mode. Other one we have is register indirect addressing. So it's something like in this way. So this is an example wherein we have opcode here, example load, and in the operands part is R2 comma R5. So here can anybody say in R2 and R5 which one is follow, what is the mode R2 is following?
Register mode.
Yes, Amma. Good. R2 is following the previous one I had said, this mode Amma, R2. Plain ga R2 petteste, just is referring to a R2 register in the processor registers. Okay. And ఎప్పుడైతే నేను బ్రాకెట్ పెట్టాను అనుకోండి, బ్రాకెట్ పెట్టి R5 అంటే then it is register indirect addressing. సో ఇక్కడ ఏమైతుంది అంటే యాక్చువల్ గా డైరెక్ట్ గా మనకు R5 ని లొకేట్ చేయదు ఇది. Actually it points to some address. That address will be pointing to the R5 register. So here you can see example, for example R5 in brackets. Here we have the operand. Then actually this will be pointing to some address. And simply we can say here we have is 5000. So this, for example, sorry. If we say R5, so R5 will be pointing to processor register R5. This is the R5 register and it consists of 5000. This is the R5 register. Maybe we have R0, R1, R2 at the top. So maybe this one is R5 register. So when I keep here R5 and in brackets, I keep in brackets R5, then R5 will be pointing to R5 register. In this R5 register, I have address is 5000. This is the 5000. So it's an indirect addressing. So that's why I need to search where is 5000 in the main memory. So this is main memory. This one is the processor registers. In R0, R1, R2, R3, so on we have, here is R5. So R5 consists of 5000 and I need to check where the 5000 is. Okay, I have 5000 in the main memory. What is the value here? Okay, that will be taken here. That will be loaded into R2. Maybe here maybe 10 or 20 value that will be loaded here. So indirect addressing, not directly. This R5 is not directly pointing to the R5 register and R5 we don't have value here. R5 is pointing to R5, but thing is we don't have exact value here. It contains address of some location which contains actual value we are looking for. Okay, hope indirect is clear with you. Okay, these are register indirect addressing. Okay, so మీరు ఇది ఉన్ను రిజిస్టర్ ఇండైరెక్ట్ ఉన్ను ఇది మీరు కంపేర్ చేసుకోవచ్చు, సేమ్ ఉంటుంది. ఇది ఇది దిస్ వన్, ఇది కూడా కొద్దిగా సేమ్ ఉంటుంది మీకు, డైరెక్ట్ కాకుండా దిస్ ఆల్సో ఇండైరెక్ట్. ఇక్కడ నుంచి వెళ్తే 5000 మళ్ళీ చెక్ చేసుకుంటే ఇక్కడ వాల్యూ ఉంటుంది యాక్చువల్లీ. So this indirect addressing and register indirect addressing is same. But అంటే here only checking is in only the main memory. But ఇక్కడ చూసుకుంటే first pointing to register, then taking the address and going to the main memory. Done. So these are different modes. These are important from examination point of view. These are also very important. Register indirect addressing. Next mode is index mode. So in the index mode, it's like we represented the operand in this format, x and brackets ri. What is x here? X denotes some integer value. X is some integer value. Maybe for example 20. X may be 20 and ri. What is ri? Ri is the register involved. The register, maybe it may be R0, R1, R2 or any register. So X can be some integer value and in brackets there can be, this can be some register like for example R1 or R2 register. So this one will be something like an operand in the index mode. So we have, you can see an example of instruction which follows this mode where this is the opcode. Load is the opcode. So before the operands, we have the opcode. And this is an instruction, example of instruction. This is the opcode, and these are two are operands, and R2 is following a register mode, but this one 20 of R5 is following index mode. So these two are operands but following different addressing modes. This one is register and this one is index mode, 20 of R5. So what happens 20 of when I represent 20 of R5? So let's see. So you can see it's something like in this way. 20 of R5 means it first checks what is in R5. For example, in R5 we have is the value 1000. So it takes the 1000 has address and adds 20. The offset, it adds the 20, and whatever we get the 1020 at that address, it checks what is the value. So you can see here instruction is loaded in 32-bit, load R2 20 of R5. So when we reprint 20 of R5 in what mode we call index mode, then it checks what is in R5 register. So actually this one is in main memory. Remember, this is in main memory and this is a processor register. We may have other registers also in parallel here, R0, R1, R2, but we are repeating only one register here. So when I say 20 of R5, it checks what is in R5. It is 1000. Okay, 1000 is it's not the value, it is an address 1000. So it takes that 1000 and it adds 20 to the 1000. We get this 1020. It checks in main memory. Main memory, what is the value at 1020? Yeah, it may have some 30 value. It takes that 30, comes here 30, and it loads because opcode is loads that 30 value into R2 register. Done. If you have any doubts, you can ask me at this moment. If no doubts, I hope I can move forward. Okay, right. We'll finish in another 5 minutes. That's it. We're at the end. So next is assembly language. We already seen these are all the statements in assembly language only. Why do you have assembly language? So the thing is, actually the computer understands only which language the computer understands, students? Does it understand high level language? Machine language. It will not understand high level, or it will not understand assembly level language, or so it will understand only machine level language, which is in terms of zeros and ones. So the thing is at the starting, it's very difficult to write a program in terms of all zeros and ones. Okay, it is not possible for humans. So that's why what humans does is they developed assembly level language. At the starting, at the starting days of maybe around 70s or before 70s, there is no high level language. So what people developed is assembly level language, wherein it's something like in this way. Instructions are in this way. Load R2, they are using registers and main memories variables directly, and they're interacting load, move, and so on they have. But actually in assembly level language, instead of load, they use in short LD. Store for store ST. But for our understanding, I kept load, store, and so on. But actually in assembly level language, pure assembly level language, we have operands plus instead of load, we have is LD in short. Okay, so so machine level language, writing program in machine language is very difficult. That's why the developers has developed assembly level language, wherein we can write the programs in a better way when compared to the hectic of machine level language. Okay, so even in assembly language, it is difficult to write the programs, remembering all the mnemonics, LD, ST and so on mnemonics. So that's why we got the high level language, which made the programming more easy for us. Okay, so the present topic is assembly level language. So wherein we have these are the mnemonics, LD, ST, ADD, or these are the mnemonics used. We call them as mnemonics. So instead of operands in the instruction, in place of operands, we have these. We already know instruction consists of operands and instruction consists of opcodes and operands. So opcodes place lo load badalu we use LD, store badalu we use ST, and similarly for the addition we use add. These are we call as mnemonics, assembly level language. So ఈ వర్డ్ మీకు in OS లో కూడా వస్తుంది మీకు mnemonics అనే word. So mnemonics means these are the something like opcodes. Okay, so some other mnemonics, like for instead of register 3 we use R3 register, and similarly some variables which refer to main memory we use LOC symbols, LOC. Okay, so why do we have the assembly level language? Because we have the problem with the machine level language, which is in terms of zeros and ones. So example of assembly level language is this one, LD R3 comma R2. Can anybody say what is this mode, addressing mode? In brackets I have R2.
Indirect addressing.
Yes, it's indirect addressing mode. Ante this will be pointing to R2 register. In R2 register we have some address. ఆ అడ్రస్ తీసుకొని మనం మెయిన్ మెమరీకి వెళ్తే అక్కడ మనకు యాక్చువల్ వాల్యూ ఉంటుంది. మెయిన్ మెమరీ అడ్రస్లో వాల్యూ ఉంటుంది. దిస్ వన్. సో లెట్ మీ రిపీట్. This will be pointing to R2 processor register. R2 processor register లో మనకు యాక్చువల్గా వాల్యూ ఉండదు, అడ్రస్ ఉంటుంది. ఇది R2 is a processor register. దాంట్లో మనకు అడ్రస్ ఉంటుంది. ఆ అడ్రస్ తీసుకొని మనం మెయిన్ మెమరీకి వెళ్తే అక్కడ వాల్యూ ఉంటుంది. So that value we will get here and we will load into R3 register because the opcode is load. That is storing that value into R3. Okay, similarly we have store also. Okay, so load is loading to this one. Load ante store loading R2 value into R3. Store ante something writing amma, writing. This one is load is reading R2 ikkada nunchi R3 లకు రీడ్ చేయడము. Store means from processor register we are writing into main memory, storing. Sum is referring to main memory because this is a user defined variable which obviously pointing to the main memory. This one is a predefined variable R2 which is pointing to R2 register in processor registers. Okay, so when I say store, value in R2 maybe 50 is written into, copied into some a variable referring to main memory. Okay, so remember programs written in assembly language can be automatically translated into sequence of machine instructions. This is done by a program called assembler. So who will convert the conversion from assembly level language to machine instructions? It's done by assembler. This is a program. Okay, and the last thing is this assembler directives. Guess you already used this type of directives in your previous subjects. Do you remember what are the directives where you had used in your previous subject last sem? C language, where pi equal to hash directive pi space గుర్తుందా మీకు? హ్యాష్ డైరెక్టివ్ పై స్పేస్ 3.14 అని యూజ్ చేశారు అసెంబ్లీ డైరెక్టివ్. సో ఇన్ ది సేమ్ వే what does it mean pi 3.14 in C language?
Will replace the
yes amma, good. it replaces wherever pi it finds in the program, it replaces with 3.14 value. ఎందుకంటే మీరు ఆ పై అట్లా నార్మల్గా వాడాలనుకోండి, మీరు ప్రతి దగ్గర చేంజ్ చేసుకుంటూ పోవాలి. అంటే డైరెక్ట్ మీరు కాన్స్టెంట్ 3.14 పెట్టారంటే వేర్ ఎవర్ యూ హ్యాడ్ కెప్ట్ 3.14 ఇన్ ద ప్రోగ్రామ్, ఇఫ్ ఇట్ ఇస్ యూ హ్యాడ్ కెప్ట్ 3.14 ఇన్ 10 ప్లేసెస్ ఇన్ యువర్ ప్రోగ్రామ్, మీరు రేపు పొద్దున మార్చాలనుకుంటే 10 ప్లేసెస్లో మార్చాలి. దాని బదులు ఏం చేస్తున్నారు, హ్యాష్ డైరెక్టివ్ అని స్పేస్ పై స్పేస్ 3.14 ఇస్తే జస్ట్ పై వాడుతున్నావు, పి అనే వేరియబుల్ వాడతావు. వేరెవర్ పై వీ హ్యావ్ దట్ విల్ బి రీప్లేస్డ్ విత్ 3.14. ఫ్యూచర్లో మీరు 3.14ని 3.15 పైన చేస్తే సరిపోతుంది. 3.15 విల్ బి రీప్లేస్డ్ వేరెవర్ యూ యూస్డ్ పై. ఓకే, మరి ఏం సార్ దీనికి మరి కెన్ ఎనీబడీ సే మరి నేను దానికి హ్యాష్ డైరెక్టివ్ ఎందుకు వాడాలి, ఐ కెన్ గో విత్ ఏ నార్మల్ వేరియబుల్ కూడా వాడచ్చు కదా అంటున్నా అంటారు. కెన్ ఎనీబడీ సే వై కెంట్ ఐ యూజ్ ఏ వేరియబుల్ దేర్? హ్యాష్ డైరెక్టివ్ అని ఎందుకు వాడుతున్నా? మామూలుగా ఏదో ఇంట్ పై అని ఫ్లోట్ పై అని తీసుకొని 3.14 అనొచ్చు కదా, ఈక్వల్ టు 3.14 అనొచ్చు కదా.
We cannot change value after.
Yes, good Amma, good reasoning. So we cannot అదే వేరియబుల్ తీసుకుంటే మనం మిడిల్ లో మార్చచ్చు, ప్రోగ్రామ్ మిడిల్ లో. అదే మీరు హ్యాష్ డైరెక్టివ్ అని డిక్లేర్ చేస్తారు అనుకోండి, పై 3.14 కిందికి వచ్చి మీరు పై ఈక్వల్ టు 3.16 అని ప్రోగ్రామ్ లోపల మీరు మార్చలేరు, ఆ డైరెక్టివ్ దగ్గరనే మార్చాలి. ఓకే, దట్ ఈస్ ద లాజిక్. ఓకే, సేమ్ డైరెక్టివ్స్ వి ఎగ్జిస్ట్ ఇన్ ది హియర్ ఆల్సో, అసెంబ్లీ డైరెక్టివ్స్ ఆల్సో. సో అసెంబ్లీ డైరెక్టివ్స్లో మనం ఎలా రాస్తామంటే 20 is a keyword we use, equal to 20. So wherever you use 20, there the 20 string will be replaced by this 20 value. Okay, something like pi equ 3.14 ఇలా వాడచ్చు మనం. pi equ, this is a keyword equal to 3.14. So wherever you use pi, there 20 will be replaced. So denotes 20 should be replaced by the value. So these are the assembly directives. You can go with the textbook and learn few more directives. In short, I had given you assembly directives. And hope we are done with the class. And almost I had covered all the topics of Unit 1. We are done with almost Unit 1. And we may get another 1, 2, 3 classes. You already you will be having the classes right from the Monday. Even though you have minors, you will be having the classes, right? CR or anybody respond?
So
Yes, you will be having. So we may get another 1, 2 classes so that we can learn few more topics. I mean, we are done with Unit 1, but if you want any revision, I can make. So hope I already made a lot of times the revision part. And one more thing, I will give the video of this recording of this class also as usual, and let me know if you have any doubts. Meanwhile, I will go through the attendance part. Okay, so you can observe this register indirect processing till then. If you have any doubts, let me know. (62) absent. (72). 79, 85 absent, 94, 97 is absent, 119 and 120. And one more thing, if you have any doubts, you can WhatsApp me your doubts. You can ask me in the class, or you can WhatsApp me, or else you can even call me. At any time you can call me and you can ask me the doubts. No problem. And whatever data if you want, you can call me. Okay. And I will every time I will upload, I will WhatsApp you and upload the notes to this course web as well as to your WhatsApp.